You got to get past that. It happened. You understand? I do understand that. Hey, but unfortunately, we have to deal with it every day.
Do I think he's capable of doing that?
No, what's your theory of what happened? I'm not asking you that.
When everything happened, here's what I knew happened. Bud Billings' favorite statement was this, and as you interview people, they'll all confirm this. He'll say, you know what, over these years, I had so much cash that I could not spend it before I died. That was his favorite saying. And he did, I'm sure. And when this whole thing happened, those words rang in my ear. I have more cash, and I think he was right. I think that everybody knew Bud Billings had a lot of money. And when he's saying that, Tim Higley and I were talking about that this morning. Tim, or maybe it was last night. Tim said, you know, when that happened, you remember how many times he said, I got more cash than I could ever spend in a lifetime? And I went, yeah. And I think somebody...
Did he usually keep a lot of cash on him?
He carried $20,000 in his briefcase.
What color briefcase did he carry?
It would be like a cafe. That might not be a brown, but a light brown. And he carried 20 grand in there. The reason I know he carried 20 grand down there is because when I gave him a $6,000 payment we didn't want to check, he put it in there and it's all kind of together. And he said, well, that gets my 20 grand up to. That gets my 20 grand where I like it in my briefcase. So that said to me, he always carries 20 grand in his briefcase, which I thought was the craziest thing in the world. But when it happened, I said, somebody knew. Well, everybody in Pensacola knew. When he built that house, everybody said, well, the security system that he put in there is to protect this house. So everybody thought, well, maybe that's where he keeps his money, you know? I don't know. But when I heard it, he got robbed. Now, when I'm reading the paper, it says no, but, you know, I mean, why would anybody go in and kill? First, I don't know. Why. I don't think anybody hated Bud Billings enough to kill her, and nobody in Pensacola hated his wife. I mean, people hate Bud Billings.
But let's get back on track. We just told you what we know, right?
If that's the van, then he went in to rob her.
You think he did? I promise you that's the van.
If that's the van, we know he did.
Why are you so sure?
Well, if that van was there, it belongs to him. What other thing could it be? Nobody stole his van.
We're trying to figure out.
I just, y'all might, has he been in trouble since he was young?
He's been around the block a couple times.
I mean, that's kind of irrelevant, though. You know what I mean? People can, even though you get in trouble when you're young, don't mean you're a bad person.
I know it. And what my thinking was, he's never been, what he's always presented to me was he's never been in trouble since then, since he got out of prison. He's never been. I remember one time he told me he had one little bad check that he wrote and he had to make restitution on. But he told me he's never been in trouble. So I thought that's a childhood, that's a thing, and that's a part of his life. And the way he conducts his life with the kids and everything, I never knew he had the capacity to do anything like that.
We're not saying he did. We're just telling you what the facts that we have.
No, we're not.
We didn't say that at all.
We're saying he went in and killed that man and his wife. We're not saying that.
But we're like you, we're trying to figure this out too, and then you see what we got. And of course we got other stuff we're not going to, you know.
Right, I understand.
We're just trying to figure this out. What in the hell is going on?
Through the years that I've known him, I've never known him to do personally anything that was anything like that, or violent or anything. I mean, I've never known that part of it. That's part of his life.
And I can't call. How did you come to meet this guy, Patrick?
He worked for me at Hondaland. He sold cars for me.
How did he come to you? I mean, how did y'all look at that?
He'd been a car salesman in Pensacola, you know, everywhere around here. When I opened up Hondaland, just by the interview, he just probably came in and asked for a job, saw that we were opening up, and he was probably working at one of the other dealerships. And I would call and I'd go, "Is this guy a good salesman?" And they go, "Yeah," and he was a great salesman.
Do you know how he come in contact with Bud? Did you introduce him?
I did.
You introduce him?
They, you know, they're with the things for their kids. I said, you know, Bud would be interested in that. They were getting sponsors. I said, Bud would be real interested in that. And I think Bud sponsored one of their, I think the first way they met, he sponsored one of the seminars that they had. And I said, I told Bud about them and what they did. He loved stuff like that. He said, I want to meet them. And he and his wife both went down and met Bud. And he sponsored them one of their deals, probably was $300 or $400 or something. And he might have done it several times, I don't remember. But that's how he met them. And they seemed to be on the same track, you know, as far as the way they thought about kids. And Bud was real excited that they were teaching these kids against abduction awareness and that kind of stuff. So and Bud loved his wife. She's just sweet as she can be. So they seemed to mesh until the dojo failed and Bud didn't get his money back, and that kind of ended their relationship.
Did he know Silvana?
He would know Silvano. He would know Silvano.
Patrick does?
Yeah. He would know Silvano because when we were out at Mobile Highway and we were training the Coast Guard guys, he would sometimes come by and pick me up and we would go train and he'd bring me back, so he met Silvano there. But it would have been, they would not know each other well. I mean, it would be, if they looked at each other, they would know who they were, but they didn't, as far as I know, they didn't have any contact.
Anything else?
Pretty much that.
You swear everything you said is the truth, nothing
Yes,
but
sir.
the truth, to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and at this time, this is don't end this part of the interview.
I know this is a nightmare for everybody. It's killing you all. I can see it on your face.
It's getting bigger every minute.
Well, can I do anything?
Yeah, you know what I didn't ask you on tape, but I should have. You ever seen him with any weapons? Knives, hand grenades, anthrax?
I've seen him with training weapons that we use in martial arts.
We're talking about firearms or anything?
I don't think he's a convicted felon. I don't think he has any weapons. I've never seen him with a weapon. Just training materials.
And again, I want to re-emphasize, we're not saying he did it.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not going to say anything that's happened in this.
I'm just saying we're not saying that he did it. All we're telling you is that's what we're looking at.
Right.
But we're looking at every angle.
Every, yeah.
Like I said, what we're talking about here tonight, this evening, we're not going to go out there and broadcast it, so it would be probably beneficial.
I promise you, I'll never say a word about anything that's happened here. And the same thing, the street talk is all over Pensacola, that I'm arrested and I'm in jail and I've been charged with double murder and all this kind of stuff. Car people in the car business love to gossip, and they love that kind of.
Like women, huh?
Like when a car dealer goes out of business, they can't wait to get on the phone and tell them. They love when somebody's life is in trouble. Competition's gone.
Deputies are the same way.
There's,
it's strong.
to give you an example, there's a guy in Milton who I guess has a buddy at the sheriff's department. And when all the sheriffs hit the lot that night, we buy 95% of the cars at Milton Chrysler Dodge. Well, this guy's name is Charlie Tanner. Well, Charlie Tanner tries to buy cars there. Well, he can't. So as soon as I guess his buddy told him about that, he's down there the next morning telling him that I got arrested and I'm charged with double murder and I got transported over here. And so they're calling desperately on the phone with Bobby, what we need to do and everything. And they're just trying to eliminate his competition,
Yeah. Okay. Henry, we appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
And we might, there's a chance we might have to get up with you again.
All you